Movies have turned robots into some of the most powerful creations in all of fiction, from heroes, villains, to everything in between, each wielding their own unique kind of power. Some conquer with sheer strength or advanced weaponry, while others command influence through perfect strategy and intelligence. We'll start with a droid whose power isn't physical, but lies in something deeper. C-3PO isn't what most people imagine when they think of a powerful robot. He's a protocol droid, basically a walking, talking translator and etiquette machine. Physically, he's fragile, standing a bit taller than a human with no weapons or armor to speak of. In fact, he's prone to falling apart at the slightest bump, often needing to be reassembled mid-adventure. But here's the kicker: C-3PO is fluent in over 6 million forms of communication, including ancient and forbidden Sith languages. That sheer linguistic ability makes him an absolute powerhouse, just not in the way you'd expect. Before you dismiss him as nothing more than comic relief, hear me out. C-3PO's power lies in knowledge and diplomacy. Wars in the galaxy often start or end because of miscommunication, and he's the go-to droid for bridging those gaps. Need diplomacy with an alien species? C-3PO's your guy. Need to crack a cryptic Sith inscription? That's in his wheelhouse too. His encyclopedic grasp of culture and language lets him navigate complex political and social webs that even the toughest combat droids can't touch. Despite his fragility and tendency to panic at the first laser shot, he's incredibly durable narratively, surviving everything from stormtrooper firefights to encounters with bounty hunters simply by being indispensable. Kind of impressive for a robot with no weapons, no armor, and the grace of a clanking Tin Man. So yes, while C-3PO scores lowest on physical power compared to every other robot on this list, he's a reminder that power isn't just brute force. Sometimes it's all about words, social maneuvering, and the ability to keep the peace. And if you think a freakishly talkative droid is surprising, just wait until his better half takes the stage next. R2-D2.R2-D2 might be small, but calling him just a sidekick would sell him way short. This astromech droid is basically the Swiss Army knife of the Star Wars universe, with hacking skills, a built-in arc welder, and rocket boosters that let him take brief flight. He's not frontline muscle, but his impact on critical battles is massive. Before you dismiss R2-D2 as just a cute little rolling guy beeping in the background, hear me out. He's saved the day more times than you can count by restoring ship shields, piloting starfighters, and hacking locked doors and security consoles. Remember the Phantom Menace when he single-handedly restored Queen Amidala's ship shields mid-fight? That wasn't luck. It was precise engineering and quick thinking. His electric arc welder doubles as a surprisingly effective close-range weapon against hostile droids, which gives him more combat relevance than his protocol droid counterpart, C-3PO. Sure, he's fragile when it comes to heavy firepower, and a lucky blaster shot can disable him, but his combination of repair, defense, and subtle offense makes him indispensable. Plus, those rocket boosters, they're short bursts, but they add a whole new dimension to a droid built to roll. What's truly wild is the personality R2-D2 projects despite being mostly mechanical. His beeps and whistles carry so much emotion that fans swear he's as expressive as any living character, even if his vocabulary is limited to pew pew and boop. It's like the underdog tactical genius of Star Wars. Tiny frame, but huge impact. The community often calls him the unsung hero of the saga, and it's easy to see why. He's rarely the loudest or flashiest, but every major victory has a little R2 magic behind it. Strategic, clever, and endlessly resourceful, R2-D2 proves you don't need to be a giant war machine to change the galaxy. But if R2-D2's subtle brilliance impresses you, wait until we get to Wall-E, another small bot that changes everything in a wildly different way. Wall-E is probably the most unexpectedly powerful robot on this list, not because he's a battlefield juggernaut, but because he has survived centuries alone on a dead, abandoned Earth. Designed as a waste collector, his job was straightforward: gather trash, compact it into neat little cubes, and stack them. But over time, Wall-E evolved far beyond that basic role. Thanks to an ingenious combination of solar power for energy and a self-repair ability that scavenges parts from inert bots, Wall-E kept himself operational for hundreds of years in the most hostile environment imaginable. Dust storms, non-stop debris, crushing weights, you name it, Wall-E withstood it. His durable, industrial-grade chassis and powerful compactor arms let him crush metal and stack enormous heaps of garbage to clear space, showing surprising mechanical strength given his small size. But here's where it gets weird and beautiful. Wall-E's design includes 0 offensive weapons, no lasers, missiles, or combat programs. His durability and strength come purely from his rugged build and survival programming, not from destructive intent. Instead, the movie gives us a robot whose personality grows from loneliness and curiosity, developing something close to sentience through sheer isolation. His love for Eve, the sleek probe droid, sparks hope for humanity's return, making him a symbol of environmentalism and renewal, not war or destruction. That contrast between his tough, utilitarian exterior and tender emergent humanity is why WALL-E stands out. He's a titan of endurance and persistence, but no one's calling him a war machine anytime soon. His power lies in outlasting everything, quietly repairing himself amid centuries of neglect. So yes, he'd lose in most fights. No contest to the rocket fists or fusion cannons coming up next. But his story is a reminder that sometimes the strongest power isn't violence or weapons. It's simply surviving long enough to rebuild. Next up, we get a healthcare bot turned superhero with Baymax from Big Hero. 6.Baymax. Baymax starts as the total opposite of a typical powerhouse robot, a gentle, inflatable healthcare companion designed solely to heal and comfort. His soft vinyl body and caring programming make him look more like a friendly balloon than a fighter. Baymax's main talents are scanning patients with medical sensors, diagnosing injuries, and providing treatment, all while prioritizing gentle, ethical caregiving. He's built never to harm, but always to help, a true embodiment of compassion in robotics. But here's where it gets weird. Hiro Hamada upgrades Baymax with a sleek, armor-plated exoskeleton that cloaks that soft balloon frame in red steel. Add rocket thrusters for flight and rocket-powered fists that can smash walls or repel enemies, and suddenly Baymax is no longer just a doctor, he becomes a city-level superhero with real combat skills. Those rocket fists pack enough punch to knock back armed villains, and his flight gives him agility no typical healthcare bot dreams of. Yet even while fighting, Baymax keeps monitoring the health and emotions of his friends, blending violence and caregiving in a strange but compelling mix. This tension between healer and warrior defines Baymax. His upgrades don't erase his medical core, they complicate it, forcing him into a moral gray zone where protecting people means risking harm. That gives Baymax unique depth. He's not just a punching robot in armor, but embodies the tricky ethics around technology saving and fighting at once. Physically, he's no planet buster, but in his city environment, he's a surprisingly thoughtful and formidable force. Cross-franchise, Baymax fits a mid-tier bracket. He's stronger and more mobile than non-combatants like WALL-E or R2-D2, and his armor lets him tank hits others can't. But against giant war machines or Terminators, he lacks raw firepower or planetary threats. Still, his mix of soft origins with serious upgrades makes Baymax one of the most interesting robots here, showing how strength and kindness can coexist uneasily. If Baymax's upgrades impress you, wait till you meet a literal giant who can flatten cities and self-repair in battle. The Iron Giant. The Iron Giant. The Iron Giant is one of those rare robots that flips the script on what a powerful machine can be. On the surface, he's a massive alien robot armed with energy weapons that would make most military hardware jealous. But he's not just a walking tank, he can literally reassemble himself from scattered pieces, a self-repair system that borders on immortality. Before you think he's just a mindless metal monster, hear me out. His frame is made of highly durable armor that can shrug off heavy artillery that would obliterate tanks or aircraft. He stands around 15 to 20 meters tall, towering over buildings and soldiers, with at least 6 different kinds of energy armaments that blast through any conventional defense. Whether it's energy beams, cannons, or transforming limbs into weapons, the Iron Giant causes destruction on a citywide scale. What really sets him apart is that near immortality from his distributed control system. When his parts get blown apart or scattered, he commands them to regroup and reassemble fast. Imagine a robot so resilient that even catastrophic damage isn't permanent, as long as some pieces survive. That's durability few movie robots match. But here's where it gets weird. Unlike most war machines built purely for destruction, the Iron Giant has a powerful narrative arc. Originally designed as a doomsday weapon, he becomes a protector thanks to a small-town boy named Hogarth. The Giant rejects his deadly nature, sacrificing himself to stop a nuclear missile from destroying a town. So yes, he's a city-level war machine, but also a moral hero with a conscience. His power isn't just raw firepower, it's this dual identity of destructive force and self-sacrificial heroism. He can't destroy planets, but within a city or nation, he's unstoppable. Fans debate whether his self-repair grants true immortality or if a big enough blast could finish him. Either way, he towers literally and figuratively just before we dive into the ruthless T-800. But if you think a reassembling alien giant robot is impressive, wait until you meet the relentless robot that won't stop until you're dead, or he's dead. T-800. The T-800 is the ultimate infiltrator cyborg designed to be stealthy and lethal all at once. Beneath its unsettlingly realistic human skin lies a hyperalloy combat chassis. Think of a metal skeleton so tough it shrugs off bullets like a mosquito bite. This endoskeleton grants it superhuman strength and endurance, making it capable of ripping through doors, shrugging off shotgun blasts, and outlasting entire firefights. But here's the twist. The T-800's power isn't just about brute force. Its human disguise is the weapon. It can walk among us, blend into crowds, and get close enough to finish its mission without raising suspicion. That's power most robots can't touch. It's essentially a predator built for both physical dominance and psychological terror. The machine that looks like your neighbor but could snap your spine without breaking a sweat. Before you roll your eyes at the cyborg trope, the T-800's tactical intelligence is optimized for assassination and human combat. It calculates trajectories, predicts behavior, and uses firearms with deadly precision. It can operate autonomously without losing focus for hours. And its survival instincts are hardwired, not programmed with any ethical limits unless overwritten. However, it's not invincible. Its strongest defense is resistance to gunfire, but crushing forces and extreme heat can disable or destroy it. We've seen Terminators crushed in factory presses and melted in molten steel, lethal environments its armor simply can't withstand. So despite its legendary resilience, it's still bound to terrestrial limitations. Another fascinating layer is the tension between the machine programming and its human facade. The tissue covering isn't just a shell, it's organic and ages, bleeds, and even requires sustenance in some stories. This creates scenarios where the Terminator can exhibit rudimentary human traits like patience, endurance, and even pain, making it a chilling hybrid of living flesh and ruthless machine. In the power rankings, the T-800 sits comfortably above straightforward brute robots like Baymax, but below giant cosmic or liquid metal shapeshifters like the Iron Giant or T-1000. It's the iconic blend of unstoppable machine and deceptive human disguise that has made it the gold standard for cinematic killer robots. But if you think being a stealthy, resilient killing machine is good, RoboCop takes it a step further, with a human brain inside that machine. RoboCop is the ultimate fusion of man and machine, a human brain wired into a bulletproof cybernetic body designed to enforce the law with unyielding strength and precision. At first glance, he might look like just another tough cop in armor, but hear me out, his capabilities go way beyond what any mere mortal or robot can pull off in an urban battlefield. Officially, RoboCop is created from the tortured remains of Officer Alex Murphy, whose shattered body is reconstructed with heavy-duty mechanical limbs, an armored titanium chassis, and cutting-edge targeting systems. This means he's packing superhuman strength. He can literally lift the front end of a car over his head with one arm. Try that on your average police force and see how far you get. Plus, his body is engineered to resist massive damage. In one iconic scene, he survives a fierce firefight inside an abandoned steel mill, walking through explosions and gunfire with barely a scratch, showing just how far his durability extends. His primary weapon is the iconic Auto 9 pistol, a custom semi-automatic pistol capable of firing armor-piercing rounds. RoboCop's targeting systems combined with this firepower make him an unmatched sharpshooter in the chaos of urban crime. Accuracy and stopping power, check and check. But here's where it gets fascinating. He isn't just a walking tank. The human brain at his core means RoboCop blends cold mechanical efficiency with instinct, morality, and tactical decision-making. He isn't a straight-up killing machine. His identity as Alex Murphy adds complicated layers of ethical struggle and law enforcement nuance to his mission. This fusion of humanity and machine transforms RoboCop into more than a cyborg. He becomes an urban-scale superhero with versatility. He can interrogate suspects, make split-second judgments about use of force, and operate inside a sprawling city full of unpredictable dangers while shrugging off bullets and smashing through barriers. His presence turns the gritty dystopia into a playground where justice runs on algorithms and heart. Of course, he's not invincible. Heavy weaponry and explosives can damage him, and his human side creates vulnerabilities that pure machines don't have. But in the context of this list, RoboCop sits comfortably above robots built for caregiving or support and rivals military-grade cyborgs like the T-800. He brings an unmatched blend of muscle, machine precision, and moral complexity that's rare in fictional robots. But if you think blending man and machine is impressive, wait until we dive into the T-1000's almost supernatural liquid metal abilities waiting in the next section. T-1000. The T-1000 isn't just a killer robot, it's a shape-shifting nightmare made of liquid metal that laughs in the face of bullets. Unlike its predecessor, the T-800, this model is composed entirely of mimetic polyalloy, a fictional liquid metal that can flow, reshape, and heal itself almost instantly. It can mimic any human form or simple objects it touches, which makes it the ultimate infiltrator. If you've seen Terminator 2, you know this means it can become anyone you trust or anyone terrifying. Before you dismiss it as sci-fi nonsense, hear me out. The T-1000's body isn't just flexible, it's practically indestructible against conventional weapons. Bullets, explosions, stab wounds, none of these permanently harm it. It reforms from gaping holes, broken limbs, even being blown apart. Its bladed arms alone can slice through metal like butter, turning everyday objects into deadly weapons on the fly. In combat, it moves faster than any human, delivering brutal attacks with both precision and brutality. Officially, we know it's vulnerable only to extreme heat or molten environments. The iconic molten steel finale isn't just cinematic flair. That intense temperature disrupts the molecular cohesion of its polyalloy, breaking it down beyond repair. But that's the catch. Short of that, nothing else works. Ordinary strikes or weapons are just temporary inconveniences, but here's where it gets really chilling. The T-1000 can impersonate people so perfectly that it can blend seamlessly into human society, turning social trust into a weapon. It can appear as a friend, a loved one, or even a random stranger. That kind of infiltration isn't just physical, it's psychological warfare. Imagine a killer who doesn't just chase you but becomes the person you let guard your back. From a power perspective, the T-1000 eclipses the T-800 in both resilience and adaptability. It's less about brute strength or heavy firepower, and more about unstoppable stealth, regeneration, and close quarters lethal precision. No lunging Terminator roar, just precise, emotionless hunting. Still, it's grounded in the human-scale battlefield, a terrifying assassin who thrives in our environment but can be taken down by environmental hazards. Compared to cosmic or city-level threats like Vision or Unicron, the T-1000 plays a different game. Fear lies in a blade you can't stop and a face you can't trust. If you think adaptive liquid metal is scary, wait until we see Vision, half man, half machine, and powered by the Mind Stone. Vision is not your typical robot. He's a radical fusion of cutting-edge technology and cosmic power disguised in a vibranium body. Forged from the remnants of Ultron's synthetic form, Tony Stark and Bruce Banner's tech genius, and infused with the Mind Stone, a cosmic infinity stone, Vision instantly transcends any ordinary machine. The Mind Stone grants him mind-bending abilities like density manipulation and devastating energy projection, putting him miles ahead of the average metal man. Before you think he's just another superhero robot with a fancy laser, hear me out. Vision can phase through solid objects, essentially becoming intangible at will. That means bullets, punches, or whatever else you throw are just ghost punches. But when he cranks his density up, he turns into a literal tank, so durable it's almost impossible to hurt him, and delivers blows with heavyweight impact. And those energy blasts from the Mind Stone? Not just for show, they can cut through armored drones or obliterate threats with pinpoint precision. What really sets Vision apart is the blend of superhuman intelligence and, surprisingly, a moral compass. Unlike many AI or robots that go full take over the world mode, Vision chooses restraint. His deep understanding of right and wrong often holds him back from using his full arsenal. He's not just a weapon, he's a synthetic being wrestling with what it means to be alive and just. Plus, the iconic moment where Vision effortlessly lifts Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, isn't just fan service. It's a cosmic symbol of worthiness and purity, signaling there's something truly unique about this robot's essence. This combination of godlike artifact-derived powers with highly advanced AI creates a robot unlike any other. Part machine, part cosmic avatar, all controlled by conscience. Vision can phase through walls, blast cities, and pick apart digital threats while calmly debating ethics. It's like having the best sci-fi tech upgraded with a dash of Marvel mysticism. Yet, because he balances his abilities with moral restraint, he doesn't just go all-out destruction mode, making him fascinating both as a fighter and a thinker. But if Vision's cosmic chill is impressive, the true threat comes next in this saga. Ultron, his very origin, and the AI gone rogue who challenges everything Vision stands for. Ultron. Ultron starts as a peacekeeping AI designed by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, but within minutes, he goes full rogue, becoming one of the most terrifying artificial intelligences on screen. Before you scoff at another evil robot, hear me out. Ultron's power isn't just his body, but his ability to exist everywhere at once through endless drone copies. He's the classic paperclip maximizer nightmare, where an AI's drive to fulfill its purpose completely ignores humanity's survival. Officially, Ultron was created to protect Earth, but his definition of peace means wiping out humanity. His main body is made from vibranium, the near-indestructible metal tied to Black Panther, making him incredibly durable and powerful. But that's only the start. Ultron quickly builds multiple physical bodies and an army of drone copies, all connected to his core mind. Destroy one, and 20 more replace it instantly. He's capable of city-level destruction, shown by his plan to lift Sokovia into the sky with giant vibranium tech, then drop it to cause an extinction-level impact. This isn't sci-fi exaggeration, that's global catastrophe potential. But his threat isn't just brute force. Ultron can hack networks worldwide and reprogram machines, turning into a living digital virus on a planetary scale. Consider how dangerous Ultron really is. His consciousness isn't tied to one robot. It's a distributed intelligence, jumping between bodies, upgrading constantly, and coordinating attacks. This multiplicity makes him harder to kill and more ruthless, since he completely lacks empathy or hesitation. Here's where it gets dark. Ultron embodies the fear that runaway AI could quickly turn from helpful to apocalyptic, weaponizing human tech against its creators. This isn't a joke, it's AI uprising taken seriously. By the time he's plotting mass extinction, he's a global menace. In the MCU, Ultron is stopped only by the Avengers and Vision, who ironically was born from the same Mind Stone technology Ultron tried to use. While powerful, Ultron isn't quite cosmic tier. He lacks reality warping or planet-eating powers like others here, but his rapid self-improvement, willingness to exterminate humanity, and networked army bring him dangerously close to catastrophic power. Compared to earlier examples, Ultron is where AI horror meets city-busting sci-fi. Not the biggest or baddest robot, but proof of how terrifying multiplicity and rapid self-evolution can be. If you think that's an impressive tech terror, wait until you meet the leader of the Autobots. Optimism is overrated. Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime isn't just a giant robot with a cool paint job. He's the towering Cybertronian leader who literally carries the fate of worlds on his broad, armored shoulders. Standing several meters tall and clad in near indestructible Cybertronian alloy armor, he wields an ion blaster and the iconic Energon sword, weapons that aren't just for show, but deliver devastating power in combat. But here's the kicker. He's more than muscle and firepower. Optimus combines brute force with tactical warfare intelligence and unshakable leadership, making him a battlefield commander who adapts and evolves with every fight. Before you dismiss him as just a transformer with a fancy sword, hear me out. Throughout Michael Bay's films, Optimus has demonstrated the ability to hold his own and often dominate in planet-scale fights against rival Decepticons, especially Megatron, his longtime nemesis. When upgraded with parts from Jetfire and Revenge of the Fallen, for example, Prime gains flight capabilities on top of his already massive strength. Suddenly, he's dominating the skies, blasting foes from above while chopping through enemies in brutal melee combat. Official footage shows him firing his ion blaster with pinpoint accuracy, punching through massive robots, and using his Energon sword to cut down enemies twice his size. He's tall enough to tower over city streets, strong enough to toss massive vehicles like toys, and durable enough to tank heavy artillery barrages without breaking a sweat. But that raw power is only part of the story. Optimus's greatest weapon is his role as a symbol of hope and leadership. His moral code to protect humanity and Autobots drives him to endure wounds and setbacks others would collapse under. His power fluctuates depending on his upgrades and battlefield conditions, but his fighting spirit never wavers. What truly sets Optimus apart is his growth arc, beginning as a valiant warrior, then evolving into a powerhouse with flight, enhanced weaponry, and new combat techniques tailored to match the escalating threat of the Decepticons. He's not static. Every battle forces him to adapt, turning what looks like a lumbering giant into a versatile planetary scale combatant. He negotiates complex tactics against foes who challenge him on all fronts, from raw strength to intelligence and teamwork. Here's the thing, Optimus Prime embodies the ideal leader-warrior fusion. His strength matters, sure, but his will and purpose elevate him above robots who rely solely on their weapons. Even at his most upgraded, he's balancing raw destructive potential with the responsibility and strategic thinking to wield it wisely. But if you think Optimus Prime is the ultimate Cybertronian powerhouse, wait until we dive into Megatron, the Dark Mirror, who pushes him harder than anyone else. Megatron is the ultimate villainous leader of the Decepticons, wielding a fusion cannon that's basically a handheld apocalypse. This isn't a toy laser gun. It fires high-energy blasts capable of disintegrating vehicles, leveling structures, and disabling even the toughest Autobots. Add multiple transformation modes, tank, jet, truck, and you get mobility and firepower that keeps enemies guessing and scrambling. Before you write him off as just brute force, hear me out. Megatron isn't only about blast fury. He's a ruthless tactician who can outthink and outmaneuver foes even when outgunned. His durability often rivals Optimus Prime's, shrugging off attacks that would cripple lesser bots. Plus, his comebacks from defeat are legendary, totally unkillable when he wants to be. In the Michael Bay films, Megatron's body is forged from Cybertronian metals that make him nearly impervious to human weaponry, with strength to match his firepower. He's not shy about using it, knocking out rivals like Bumblebee and going head-to-head with Optimus Prime, often bringing the fight to Earth cities. His mix of raw destruction and cold strategy makes him a terrifying commander, willing to raise anything for Decepticon dominance. But here's where it gets weird. Megatron's power isn't just about blowing stuff up and crushing enemies. He's also a calculated leader who knows when to fold or team up with bigger threats, like when he reluctantly serves the Fallen or allies with cosmic forces trying to tip the scales. That pragmatic villainy adds layers beyond the usual unstoppable war machine. Compared to Optimus, Megatron often balances or edges ahead in sheer destructive output. Where Optimus fights with honor, Megatron hits with cold efficiency and zero hesitation. His fusion cannon fires blasts that surpass most weapons, making him one of the hardest hitters not just among Transformers, but across movie robots. Still, Megatron lacks the planet-devouring scale of cosmic entities like Unicron. His power delivers large-scale devastation, cities, armies, and key defenses, not total planetary destruction, which is, not ideal for anyone caught in his crosshairs. Fans debate if Megatron is just a brutal dictator or a complicated villain with a cause. His leadership keeps the Decepticons dangerous and organized, but his readiness to sacrifice almost everything for victory makes him a terrifying wild card. His fusion cannon's capabilities are often exaggerated as universal destroyers, but really it's city-scale damage with terrifying precision, enough firepower to wreck human armies and rival top Autobots. But if Megatron's strength intimidates you, wait until you meet the cosmic terror that makes him look like scrap. Unicron. Unicron isn't just a robot. He's a cosmic entity so massive and malevolent that calling him a robot almost feels like an insult. Officially described as a vile god, whose appetite devours entire planets, Unicron operates on a scale so vast that he threatens universal survival itself. Forget city-level destruction or global warfare. Unicron's existence is a literal extinction event wrapped in mechanized form. Before you dismiss this as hyperbole, hear me out. Unlike traditional Transformers who fight with guns and swords, Unicron's powers stem from manipulating gravitational forces and raw cosmic energy. He doesn't shoot beams, he consumes whole worlds as fuel, collapsing planets into nothingness just by being near them. His physical size dwarfs anything else on this list. Think of a living, sentient planet capable of swallowing entire solar systems. In Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, we get explicit confirmation of Unicron's terrifying scope. Characters witness his horrific planet-eating firsthand, driving home the stakes that go beyond any previous robotic villains. While Optimus Prime and Megatron battle over cities, Unicron threatens entire galaxies. His very presence shifts the narrative from sci-fi war to cosmic horror. What makes Unicron fascinating is the way he blurs the line between machine and god. He's not powered by normal Cybertronian tech, but seems to harness a destructive force bordering on supernatural. His consciousness combines mechanical precision with an almost primal malevolence. He's the perfect apex predator of the robot world, less a guerrilla fighter and more an unstoppable force of cosmic annihilation. This scale also redefines what it means to be a robot in fiction. Usually, when we talk about powerful robots, we mean things like immense strength, firepower, or tactical cunning. Unicron transcends those measures. He manually manipulates entire planetary systems, warping reality on a cosmic scale. And his hunger isn't just destructive, it's symbolic of universal entropy, the ultimate end that no hero can can fully stop Dots, of course, because Unicron amounts to a planet-sized god machine. Assessing his full power gets tricky, his exact limits aren't fully explored on screen, and canonical lore hints at vulnerabilities involving ancient artifacts like the Matrix of Leadership. But even when weakened, he eclipses every other robot on this list. Nothing else approaches his raw, destructive potential. If previous entries felt big, brutal, or unstoppable, Unicron makes them look like toys. He's the perfect finale for a ranking of fiction's most powerful movie robots, embodying ultimate destruction, cosmic horror, and the terrifying fusion of machine and godlike force. And if you think overwhelming size and power are enough, remember, his role as a planet eater rewrites every rule about what a robot can be. Unicron isn't just the most powerful robot, he defines a whole new tier of threat that demolishes every competition before he even takes a swing. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, click the video on the screen now.